Hello and welcome to your dream vacation, Eritrea. This long, warm water coastline and abundance of historical and archaeological and natural sites, Eritrea has much to offer as a tourist destination. Eritrea is an African country occupying an area of 121,320 square kilometers, which makes it slightly larger than the state of Pennsylvania. It borders Sudan to the north and west, Ethiopia and Djibouti to the south, and the Red Sea to the east. Its land borders extend for 1,630 kilometers, while its total coastline is 2,234 kilometers. Eritrea's capital, Asmara, and its nine other major cities, Asab, Maswa, Keren, Bartu, Adike, Dekember, and Akadora. Just be careful on where you go as there are traveling near its borders, but in its major cities, Eritrea is amazing. The natural environment of Eritrea. Now there's a lot to talk about, so let's get to it. Eritrea can be divided into three major climate zones: the Central Highlands, the coastal region, and the Western Lowlands. Each has a different climate pattern. In the Central Highlands, the hottest month is usually May to June, with highs around 27 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Winter is between December and February, with lows at night that can be near the freezing point. Asmara itself enjoys a pleasant climate all year round, although it can be quite cold at night in winter. There are two rainy seasons: the short rains in March and April, and the main rains from late June to the beginning of September. Over there, the climate is usually sunny and dry, as sunny durations turn around 3,000 hours, and averages annual rainfall hover around 500 millimeters. On the coastline along the Red Sea, the summertime is long from June to September and extremely hot, with averages high temperatures from 40 degrees Celsius to 46 degrees Celsius, and it's even hotter in the Decalia area. The wintertime is nearly non-existent, and average highest temperatures remain around 28 during the least hottest month of the year, and the average low temperatures exceed 20 degrees. The rainy season along the coastal north of the Decalion falls during the winter months, but rainy days still remain scarce. Rain is even more rare in the Decalion region. The climate is always sunny and dry in this zone, and cloudy days are very rare. In the western lowlands, the high temperatures are comparable to those on the coast in the hottest months of April until June. December is the coldest month, with average lows falling as low as 15 degrees. The rainy seasons are the same as for the highlands. Here are the six administrative regions of Eritrea. The Mekelle region, which is central. It has a population of 1 million, and the capital of it is Asmara. The Ansab region. It has a population of 893,587, and its capital is Keren. The Gash Barka region. It has a population of 1,103,000. Its capital is Barantu. The Dibab region, which is the southern region, has a population of 1,476,000, and its capital is Medifera. The northern Red Sea region has a population of 897,454, and its capital is Massawa. And the last one is the southern Red Sea region. It has a population of 398,000, and its capital city is Assab. Those are the six administrative regions of Eritrea. Now we're going to talk about population density and distribution of Eritrea. The population density of Eritrea is 557.9 per square kilometers, meaning the population density of Eritrea is moderate. The population distribution of Eritrea is cool. In the Gash Barka region and the southern Red Sea region, it's all dispersed. The south and central regions of Eritrea are dispersed in a way where a lot of people live in these cities that have a big population, like Merkabah and Asmera. This is the reason why a lot of people live in this area and it has a high density. The last area of distribution is the Ankara region and the northern Red Sea region. Both of these areas are dispersed, but they're dispersed in big clumps. Instead of being like the other two regions, how they're all dispersed in small clumps, this is dispersed in a lot of clumps. So that's why population for both are near a million. So, now that we talked about the natural environment, we're going to talk about the history. And there is over 5 centuries, but we're going to talk about all of that right now. So, let's do it! Now we're going to talk about the history of Eritrea. Basically, the boundaries of the present-day Eritrean nation was established during the scramble for Africa. While other nations were taking over parts of Africa, Italy wanted to take over some of it. So as they saw a coaling station, they proclaimed and took over the space that is Eritrea and established it as a new colony of Eritrea. They took over Eritrea for about 40 to 50 years, but they lost it due to them losing World War III, because Benito Mussolini, when he came to rise in power in Italy, he was a fascist person. So he sided with Hitler and the Germans and fought in World War II. But since they lost it, then the Allies took over all of the land that Italy, Japan, and Germany have. This included Eritrea. The British had taken over Eritrea for over a year, but they couldn't take care of it anymore, and they knew it couldn't survive by itself, so they put it with the Federation with Ethiopia. Emperor Haile Selassie wanted to annex Eritrea and Italian Somaliland, which it had also. He said that it's basically the same country, and he prefer if it was together, so that there would be no tobacco's. But the Eritrean fighters didn't want to do this, so they fought it and created the Eritrean independence movement. After this, there was a war between Ethiopia's military and the Federation movement. Basically, it went on for 30 years, and Eritrea were fighting so hard. Eventually, in 1991, after years of fighting, they finally had stopped, and the UN had a referendum to finalize the Eritreans wanted to become independent. And obviously, the percentage of the referendum was high, and 95% of people wanting to separate from Ethiopia. So in 1993, it became independent, and this is how Eritrea came to be. This is the history of Eritrea. Here's an explanation of the flag of Eritrea. The flag of Eritrea consists of 2 horizontal stripes. The top stripe is green, and the bottom one is light blue. From the left side of the flag is a horizontal red triangle that extends the length of the flag. Inside the triangle is a yellow wreath. The green stripe symbolizes the agriculture and livestock economy of Eritrea. The red stands for the blood shed during Eritrea's struggle for independence against Ethiopia. The blue represents the marine wealth, while the yellow represents the mineral wealth of Eritrea. This is important to the history of Eritrea because Eritrea's flags are very close to how they're dealing with. Around when they were on with Italy, they had a flag that was blue and yellow. The blue represented the priest, and the yellow represented the mineral wealth of Eritrea. So as you can see, the new one represents how independent and strong they are, while the old one represents how peaceful and prosperous the nation was before when it was part of Italy. So now we're talking on our third final topic, including the rates, not the economic development. We're going to be talking about some stuff about industries, so let's get to it. Now we're going to talk about the economy of Eritrea. Eritrea is one of those countries that have a rich environment and has lots of materials, but due to its situation, they can't use those resources, and its economy is evident of it. Agriculture is a massive industry in Eritrea. It nearly employs 80% of residents in the workforce. But even though agriculture employs nearly 80% of the population, agriculture doesn't account as much as other industries. It only accounts for 12.4% of the gross domestic product in Eritrea, while let's say the industry um, accounts for 26.2%, and it's not even it's like less than a quarter of the workforce works in industry. So agriculture has a lot of residents, but not a lot of the GDP is from that. Now that we talked about industry, let's go into the industry. 10% of the workforce works in industry. A lot of the industry places are in Masawa and Asmara. Even though it only has 10%, it accounts for 26.2% of the GDP, which is part of the reason why it's very profitable for Eritrea. And the highest one, even though it has the least amount of residents working, is the services. This includes military, power, storekeepers, government buildings, all of that stuff services. It nearly accounts for 61.4% of the gross domestic product, which is a lot, considering it only 5% of the workforce services. It's shocking how much, but it makes sense why services has this much while agriculture only has that much. This is where the money comes for the GDP. Here are the reasons why the economy of Eritrea is not as good as it could be. The government doesn't have enough to pay. The economy would have been way higher, and the country would be much prosperous if the government had the funds to progress it. When it was part of Italy, it had the funds, and that's why it was so prosperous at that time. But now, since it's independent and it doesn't have the money due to not too many people have enough money, the country doesn't have enough money, and that's why it's poor. Another reason why is because the things that they export aren't things that are moving on. More and more countries are using technology that's while Eritrea is still using stuff that is in the earth and whatever. Yes, that is still valuable, but as time goes on and global warming that stuff continues, more countries are gonna be using technology and less countries are gonna be wanting that stuff. Those are the reasons why Eritrea's economy is going down. Here are the rates of Eritrea. Now here, our next category is the length one. So basically, what I'm here to show you is that a lot of people don't live their lives as long, and they have a lot of children. While there's a lot of people die in Eritrea, they all punch into each other, and that is why all these numbers are here for each one of them. The next category is this one. The literacy rate is like that due to the belief that males are more superiors to females. The obesity rate is like this because it's shot upon that if you're fat, it's not too good to live in Eritrea. The infant mortality rate is like this due to a lot of stillbirths. The fertility rate is like this is because it's believed that if you have more children, you have bigger families, in which you have more of a community, and that's what they like. And then the natural increase is due to this because around a lot of people are getting born, but when you share with the deaths, it equals out to about 28, and it steadily goes up like that around every year for the 1,000 people. That's why the natural increase is like that. If you compare it to a country like Poland is decent and it's like normal, while Eritrea is very high due to the very high birth rate. And the final one is the UN ranking. The reason why it's at 186 is due to the conditions and how people live in Eritrea. The unemployment rate is decently bad, but it's not too bad because it's like Canada's and it's way ahead of Albania's, which is more than double of Eritrea's unemployment rate. The energy consumption is like very low due to that most of the services and the government use it, while the people don't use it as much due to them not having as many amenities as, let's say, Canada or another country like Poland. The per capita income is like this due to Eritrea not having too many people. The gross domestic product is severely bad. Compared to Canada, which is about 1.7 trillion, that is mind-bogglingly good. While if you compare it to Eritrea, that's horribly bad. Even countries that don't have the best things, like Ethiopia, has a higher gross domestic product. This is so bad that the gross domestic product is comparable to the Bahamas or Papua New Guinea, which are not major countries, they're island countries, and not too many people live on it like Eritrea. The poverty rate is 50%, which is due to the conditions and how people live in Eritrea. So it's not too
we're
great.
on the last thing. Basically, what I'm telling
Those
you,
are all the rates.
what's good about Eritrea, what's bad about Eritrea, and why you should go there for a vacation. So first thing, it has amazing food. I personally have had it, it's good. It has amazing music, it has a culturally distinct people, and has beautiful beaches and beautiful buildings and mountains. If you want to see all this beautiful stuff from the old times and you want to see all stuff, you should go to Eritrea. Some bad things about it is that you don't have that good of an internet service there. You don't have too much English, but there's still English there, but not a lot of English. So if you're foreigner, you might need somebody to help you. And last of all, so there's some poor people, so just be careful of the travel warning. But other than that, Eritrea is a really good place for you. So if you want to get a great vacation, just come to Eritrea. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.